Hello and welcome back to another beautiful week on the homestead. Just kidding, it's just this week, that never happens. But hey, let's not jinx it, I've got sun. Last week was a massive week for me with storm warnings and damaging winds as I was set to get my roof sheeting up. Despite the week of rain, I got a day and a half of sunshine and I went all in and worked my bum off to get these roof sheets up and installed solo. Unfortunately, my plans listed the wrong amount of roof sheets, so I am one short. But hey, I'm not surprised because it's not the first time my plans have been wrong. But it's okay because I still need to get things like gutters, trimming, downpipes, fascias, paneling, all that kind of stuff. So there's still more to do on the roof. I was thinking it's funny though. I actually like to work in the sun and now there's sun and now I've got shade, but hey. That's okay, I'm not complaining at all because this shade and this rain-free area is definitely going to be useful for my next project, which I'm starting the prep work for today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am starting on my rooftop deck. I'm going to be starting on all the steel framework and then I'm going to have to mill all the wood myself out of these log piles over here. So those were all the trees that were cut down in this area. Because I'm in a high fire risk area, you need a big clearing around all your trees. I'm also moving into fire ban season 2. So the reason I'm doing this next and not moving onto the guttering and that kind of stuff is 2 reasons. A, I don't have the materials yet and I still don't have a way of getting them. But B, another important reason is I'm not going to be getting rain, I hope, for a while. So there's no point really getting it up now anyway and connecting it to the rainwater tank. But there is a point in doing all the exterior work that involves welding because I can't work on the interior work without first doing all the exterior welding because it can heat up the containers inside and cause damage and even start a fire. I don't know, oh my God, come here. Depending like if I have insulation or whatever I've got in there. So I want to make sure that I definitely have any exterior welding and any work that I need done on the outside for when that rain comes back because I'm hoping it's not going to be for a while. The decking is quite simple. It's basically a steel frame tubing, just like the steel frame that I've used for my roof. I'm going to be making my own decking out of that milled jarrah, which I haven't even opened that can of worms yet, so don't ask me how I'm going to do that. That's all pretty simple. The only thing that I haven't worked out, I obviously need the water to not run under the decking as well because we don't want it to sit on the containers. A, there's dents and damage, so it does sit in certain areas. But B, because I've created these flat bar bits here and joined them there is no way for the water, you cannot see me, there is no way for the water to run off now. So it will sit on these containers if it gets under the decking. So I do need to figure out a way for it to not sit on top of the containers. So if anyone has any ideas, I'm all open to ideas. I have a couple, but they're not solid. First things first, and that is steel frame for the deck. But before I can even do that, we know what I have to do. My favorite, rust removal, treatment, waterproofing. I've already done it basically on this container here. Unfortunately, where I've put in the posts and stuff, water has now sat in those areas because it couldn't run off, which is a bit of a bummer, but nothing I could really do. But I have mainly done this one, so that is a plus. But the white one was always the worst one. Ugh. So I'm gonna do that now, but you know what I really don't want to find? Holes. I'm hoping it's a hole-free day. Let's say it together, hole-free day. Let's just get into it. Another day covered in rust. I'm happy the sun is out. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to today. Oh my gosh, I can barely believe it. I've just removed all the rust because I've already done that container over there. And I didn't even realize I'd started on this container. I hadn't painted it, but I treated it. So it's all fine still, even though it's had winter and all the rain sitting on it and everything. So that was really exciting, although that end was pretty bad and I do have 2 little tiny holes. Damn. I was really hoping to get through with no holes, but what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just going to start the treatment and waterproofing process now, because I do want the waterproofing to have as much time to dry as possible before I have to get up here with the steel tomorrow. So I'm going to leave just that space where the 2 little holes are. I'm actually enjoying this, headphones in, and as dirty as a job as this is, someone has to do it, and I'm someone. Watch the other videos, you know the process. Now that I finished rust removal, it is time to move on to treatment. Check out this beautiful sun. I am honestly loving it so much. It kind of sucks that I'm under here, but it's time to start the waterproofing. I've treated everything for rust. That's drying. So I'm gonna start on this one too, and I think I'll start in the sun so I can get a little bit of sun. And if you've seen me do this before, you know the drill. Direct to metal, waterproofing sealer. Let's go. First coat of waterproofing's done for this side. Hello. My voice echoes. How much different does it look with the coat of paint? On to the next side, but I might get boss lady out because she keeps looking at me. So I'm gonna go get her and try watch her from here. We're up on the containers again. I also just wanted to show you the difference between using a sponge and using a brush. Don't really like how the sponge works. I think the consistency is not as good. So this is the sponge. I don't know how well you can see, but it's quite patchy. Whereas I find the brush, you can kind of see the difference, to be a lot more consistent. I'm not a fan of the sponge at all. I reckon the brush does a much nicer job. While I'm up here, I need to take measurements because I'm going to be cutting the steel today to start on my deck. Means this morning is going to consist of a bit of math. A little plan on my arm as well. It's just like a little version of my deck plan, just the bearers, so that I can write exactly which measurements I need next to all of them. I think I've got my measurements. I'm just going to start with the back bearer and the post that I don't have, just because I want to put them in first and then definitely check my measurements again to make sure that they're definitely correct. And then I might just take it bit by bit to make sure it's spot on. These are my 2 bits for the back bearer. I've got a piece here And then I've got a piece over here too, really long bit. And now I'm just gonna cut my 4 posts and a little bit of steel flat bar. I have all the first pieces I need, and now I have to carry them up, which isn't hard for the little ones, but the big one, which is 8 meters. So I'll take them up to the deck. That was heavy. Here goes nothing. Oh shit, that was way easier than I thought it was gonna be. Woo. Woo. Yay. I can't believe I actually got that up there. That means I can move 8 meter beams now by myself. Woo. Right, I can go set those up, but I do have to finish up for the day because I hope I'm wrong, but boss lady hasn't been looking too well, which is very worrying. Chickens don't usually show any signs until really last minute, and so I'm worried that, yeah, something's really wrong. She's never got sick before, and neither had any of the other girls until they died, and they died of cancer of the reproductive system. Because they're chickens that are bred to lay, they usually only live for 18 months before they're killed, tops. And then usually, if they're pets, they usually don't live longer than 3 years either, because they get so many problems because they don't usually live that long. And people don't want to pay for them and all that kind of stuff. But I definitely do. And now I'm just worried that she's got it too, because gosh, she's 5, maybe even going on 6. So I really hope not. But I'm going to take her to the vet and see. When Lost was diagnosed with this, she lived for about 8 months longer. She was given 1 more week to live, and I just kept going to get her because they develop all this fluid in their stomach which can turn into bacteria if it's left and then like infect them. And so I just kept going to get the fluid removed. I go like ages away to another vet who's really lovely, and she's got like 36 of her own chickens. So I thought I should tell you guys. I'll let you know once I've been, but yeah, I'm a bit worried. I'm really scared to go actually, because I don't want to hear bad news. Might not be bad news, but I'm just preparing myself for the worst just in case. Wish her luck.
Loving you makes the stars shine brighter. Yeah. One step closer to the halo.
Unfortunately, it wasn't great news at the vet. It looks like Boss Lady does have cancer in her reproductive area like the other girls did. The vet said at the moment she's looking healthy and happy, but we're not sure how long it will take. I believe I've got all the posts now. Well, the measurements for all the posts. Now I can go cut them all. And then I need to bring up one more massive 8 meter beam and another 4 meter beam. Then I can get 6 posts in and 2 of my bearers. And then I'll go from there. because I won't need any more posts than that because the other posts for my roof frame are getting used. So I'm gonna go cut those now, and then I can come back up and put them all in place and weld them. Got my 4 more posts and my 2 more bearers. One of them is 8 meters, so I'm not looking forward to that one. And now to get the big ones up. Whew. That wasn't so bad. It's like exerting this massive amount of energy all in one go. But now I can sit down and do some welding, which I love. Okay, so I'm just setting up my post over here, my first one. What I am gonna have to do though is any posts or like bearers along the container here, I am gonna have to go along and remove the rust first and then treat it and let it dry for a little bit. All the rust has been removed and treated. It's all dry. So I'm ready to weld on these posts. Let's do it. I finished welding the 4 back posts, so I've got all the 4 along here, but now I'm up to those 2 spots where there's 2 little holes. So I've just got 2 bits of container here and I'm going to pop them over the top and patch the holes up. And then I can move on to my last 2 posts and hopefully get my bearers in. This is a great time to note that this little fire could only ever get as big as the pile of cardboard and paint sheets it was currently burning inside because of all the safety measures I have in place for fires, which I'll talk about in a second. But this is a fantastic example of what I was talking about earlier, which is doing all the exterior work first that involves welding before starting on the inside, and this is why. Holy fuck, it's still on. I don't know, oh my God, come here. Look at the container doors. I don't know if you can see that coming out. Well, that was the whole thing. Wow. I'm sorry that, yeah, I had to react real fast then. And I couldn't take the cameras with me, or that would just be silly. What have I been telling you guys now for weeks? I've been saying I need to finish the external work before I work on the inside, because welding on the exterior can cause damage and fires inside. I was just welding up a big hole and I was patching it, or it all smoking on the surface, and then it took me like a moment to click, and I've clicked. I was like, I've got so many cardboard boxes in that corner. And then as soon as I turned, I saw all the smoke coming out of the container. Oh, and then I ran into the container, and there was a whole pile of fire in the back corner, and I was like, holy shit. So I ran into there and I started stomping it out. See on all my boots? I'm just gonna go down there to make sure it's definitely still out. So these are the things that are on fire. And now's a good time to mention that when you live on a property like this, there is definitely, and in a high fire risk area, there's definitely measures that you have to take to keep safe. So one of them is you have to have your rainwater tank a certain amount full all the time, so that if firefighters need to come, they can access your water. You need to have things like a fire extinguisher, especially doing this build as well. There's also times of the year, so they'll do things like total fire bans, and then you're not allowed to use any tools like angle grinders or welders or anything that creates sparks outside. They only do that in certain times, so it's like, you know, they'll announce it and then there's a fire ban for a little while. So basically between now and April, end of April, I'm pretty sure, you're not allowed to have any campfires, any open fires outside. And then, yeah, you're still allowed to use tools and all that stuff. But even when they've got the total fire ban, it's like no heavy machinery, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, to just always be aware of what you're doing. Why you do need to have all those things on hand too, in case things like that happen. That's just taken some time for me. Shaking me up a little. Good to be shaken up a little every now and then though. It just makes you remember how important safety is and how fast things can happen in an instant. You have to be aware, you have to be prepared, and you have to act fast and remain calm. All right guys, you guys are a big help. You guys remain pretty calm. No, it doesn't mean eat rocks. Did you know that Django has a tooth missing because she eats rocks? Yeah, you. Why you like to eat rocks. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave those two little holes for now. Area a bit more inside. Also might try cut some bigger panels for the space, because I think I need to patch a bigger area because of the rust damage. I'm going to go back to putting on my last two posts and then hopefully getting on my bearers. I've just lost a little bit of time now. What a big day. I have everything tack welded now that I was doing today. So I've got all the posts actually fully welded, and then I've got the bearers tack welded because I still need to add little cap things to the side. So I'm going to be fully welding them then, but I will give you a look. Bearer number 2, and this is bearer number 1, and then apparently according to my plans, the ones that go along the sides here are going to be called bearer number 1 as well. And the one that goes along here is bearer number 1 as well. And then the ones along this side is bearer number 1 as well. I don't know how that works, but that's what my plans say. So I still need to do those bearers around the outside edge, but when I've done them, I can put the joists on, and that's it. And then it's ready for all its timber decking, which I have to mill and make myself. Boss lady. Oh, found her. What are you guys doing? Ah, you psycho.
Said that you've been hurt one too many times before. Ended up staring in the bathroom mirror, crying on your bedroom floor. Baby, you can take my word, you haven't gotta hurt no more. Things about to get much better. I wanna make this forever. I wanna make this forever.
On the last day of open fire season, and to half celebrate the roof and half cheer myself up about the news about Boss Lady, I decided to make my last outdoor bath for 7 months due to fire restrictions. This is probably the only part of winter I'll miss, to be honest. Open fires and baths. This gave me the opportunity to buy those pieces I made with the clay from the homestead that got a little ruined last week. This week was a little reminder to me that even while you're building a house and get caught up in the excitement of it all, life goes on and nothing is permanent.
Going in circles on a one-way street, running till your feet get sore. Well, I guess